Hey guys, welcome to another episode on Ask Us About Football. My name is Nico,
I'm Nate.
and today we're going to talk about our post-draft grades for every team. We're going to go by division, so starting off with the AFC East, I gave Buffalo and Miami a B+, New England a B, and the Jets a C+. And we're going to talk about New England. Despite me giving them a slightly lesser grade than Buffalo and Miami, I still love their draft. They got Isaiah Wynn and Sony Michel out of Georgia, and Duke Dawson out of Florida. Isaiah Wynn's going to be obviously a starter on the offensive line, and I think he can play multiple positions. So he's going to keep Brady upright. You know, Brady isn't getting any younger. Sony Michel, I know they have a crowded backfield already, but I do believe he will compete for a lot of touches. He's going to be a back coming out the. He's going to be a receiving back coming out the backfield, and he's also a power back, so he's going to be a dual threat. And I believe that they're going to use him in many ways. And Duke Dawson, Bentley out of Purdue, linebacker. Christian Sam, also another linebacker to Arizona State. Belichick being a defensive genius, I think he's going to get the most out of them. I think those are some great picks, whether they're starters or backups. I see him having some sort of impact. Duke Dawson, I think, is going to have more impact than the other picks on defense, but I like them. They have some great value to them, and I think this was just overall a good draft. Probably better than what I give them, but I think they missed out on some great players. But regardless, I see Belichick getting the most out of them.
So, do you see New England as being a threat again this year?
Yeah, I think with Brady, it's still there, and with the picks that they got. He's going to have weapons. He's going to be able to. He's going to have time to throw the ball. And so, yeah, I see him competing for another Super Bowl. All right, so moving on to the next division, the AFC North. I gave Baltimore a B-. I gave Cincinnati, who had a great draft, an A. Cleveland, I gave a B. And Pittsburgh, I gave a C-. So Cleveland, I know people are like, you give them a B, and they had Baker Mayfield. They have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. Well, I think Baker Mayfield, I know that was their quarterback. I don't believe that was the best choice for them. I think Sam Darnold was the safest pick for them. I wouldn't expect him to start right away, maybe even this year, but I think he's a talented thrower, but I think he's more mature, and I just see him being mentally ready in the following year. I would trust him to start this year, but I just, he went with the Jets, and I don't think he's going to start right away. But back to Baker Mayfield, he's cocky. I know he wants to play. They have Tyrod Taylor already. He's a starter, and I don't know how that is going to, go well in the locker room, on the practice field. Denzel Ward, I think it was a great pick. I believe Bradley Chubb was a better defensive prospect, and he would have had a bigger impact. Him and Myles Garrett on the defensive line would have been consistently and constantly pressuring the quarterback. They got Austin Corbett, lineman out of Nevada, and Nick Chubb, another great running back out of Georgia. So overall, they had a decent draft. But with those picks, you have to hit a home run, and I believe that they missed that home run. They might have got a double or triple, but that's why I gave them a B.
So with Cleveland, come on, they've had good picks many a times. Every time in the draft, it seems like their first round, they get pick number 1, number 2, whatever maybe. What's the deal with them, man? Like, is it their coaching staff, their coordinators? Like, can't be the players, man. They're getting good players. They got first pick, and it seems like every year they're still in the same boat.
Yeah, I know they have a history at missing big time on picks. Johnny Manziel comes to mind. They have a new GM, so hopefully this is, they break the curse this year. I love what they've done with the offseason. They added some good weapons. Jarvis Landry. They have the running back, the tight end out of Miami last year, Njoku. And so they have Tyrod Taylor. I think he's a good starter. He's won some games with Buffalo. And so hopefully this year is different. I'm rooting for them. I'm tired of seeing Cleveland, the laughingstock of the NFL, always at the bottom. But yeah, they have a new GM, so hopefully it's a clean slate this year. Okay, so moving on to the AFC South, I know I might catch some heat from my Texan fans here, but I gave Houston a C minus. I gave the Colts an A minus. Jacksonville a B, and Tennessee an A minus. I want to talk about Tennessee. Despite them only having a few picks, I love the first two picks. I believe that they hit a home run with these. Rashaan Evans, linebacker to Alabama, and Harold Landry, edge rusher out of Boston College. They have a great team overall. They have a young team, but with these two picks, I think they added some great draft picks to the defense, who obviously is going to help the team overall. Rashaan Evans, I think he's just a great player, a great person. He's going to be a great leader for them. And Harold Landry, he's going to be a dominant rusher. And so I think, Tennessee having a great draft with what they did with the few picks that they had.
Yeah, I see how you put Houston at a C minus, but I understand this is for the draft. I still think they have a pretty good defense building up right now. I still feel that they should be able to have a chance to make it at the playoffs. I'm not going to lie, I kind of favor Houston Texans as my AFC team, even though, Cardinals my NFC team and overall, but, I have family members. My dad's a Texan fan, so I still kind of favor them a little bit on the AFC because during the playoffs, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the Texans. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I don't hate the Texans. But the reason I give them a C minus is they had quite a few picks, but the first pick was 68 overall, and so they couldn't get some of those great impact players in the first couple rounds. But Justin Reed is a great safety. I was actually hoping Dallas would have drafted him, so that was a good pick for them. But the rest, I think those are just to add depth to their team. I still think if they can have their quarterback, safety, and defensive end, J.J. Watt, Deshaun Watson, and Tyrann Mathieu stay healthy, they could have a great team. But I still have them in the middle of the pack. But this draft is just because of the players that they got. So moving on to the AFC West,
I gave heat there.
I gave Denver A plus, Kansas City D, the Chargers a B plus, and Oakland a B plus. Denver, I think, with Bradley Chubb falling to them at the number 5 overall pick, I think to me that was a blessing in disguise. I know they wanted a quarterback, but I think Case Keenum can, bring them some good wins. Bradley Chubb, though, to me, he was probably the best defensive prospect in the draft. I think him, Von Miller, Shane Ray, I think that's gonna have a huge impact on their team, especially their defense. They got Cortland Sutton, the receiver at SMU, another big target for Case Keenum. I know Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders are there, so I don't know how that's going to work out. But to me, having more targets is never a bad thing. And they got Royce Freeman, running back out of Oregon. I watched him a lot in college, and he's a great back. And so overall, I think this was a great draft for Denver.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so moving on to the NFC side. The NFC East, I might catch heat for this. Despite me being a Cowboys fan, I try to be honest with these draft grades. So with that being said, I gave Dallas an A minus, the Giants a B plus, Philly a B plus, and Washington a B minus. Why I gave Dallas an A? I know that they missed some draft picks that I wish that they would have got, but overall, I can't be mad with what they got. Lathan Batterish, linebacker at Boise State. Even though I like Rashaan Evans better, it's still a good pick for the defense, which we have a lot of holes. So I think he does fill one of the holes at middle linebacker. He can play all linebacker positions, and I think he's a great player. I don't think he's gonna have any injury concerns. I hope not. Connor Williams, the lineman out of Texas, I love the pick. He had a first round grade on him, and they got him in the second round. So this could be a steal. It just shows that they're going to go back to their strength, running the ball. So adding a great lineman prospect doesn't help. A receiver, Michael Gallup, out of Colorado State. Some compare him to Dez. I think he's going to compete for the number 2, number 3 receiver. The rest of the picks, I think overall. But we also got Tavon Austin with the 6th round trade, with the 6th round pick. So to me, I consider Tavon Austin being a 6th round pick in this year's draft. And to me, I love it. I know he wasn't used that much with LA. I believe that they're gonna. I hope they use him right. And I mean, we need speed, so he's gonna blow the top off defense. So overall, this draft for the Cowboys was Dak friendly. We gave Dak what he wants, what he needs, and so that's why I gave them an A- based off, this is for Dak, and so Dak, it's all on you.
All right.
All right. So moving on to the NFC North, Chicago, I gave an A. Detroit a C+. The Packers an A-, and Minnesota a B-. Green Bay, the first 2 picks I love. Alexander, cornerback out of Louisville, and Josh Jackson, cornerback out of Iowa. I love Josh Jackson. He was one of my favorite prospects to come out the draft, and I think these 2 are gonna just help the defense right away. Get back to that Green Bay Packer football, stop opposing teams, get the ball more in Aaron Rodgers' hands, and to me that just spells danger, for opposing teams.
Right on.
So moving on to NFC, the South, I got Atlanta at B+, Carolina at B-, the Saints at B-, and Tampa Bay at B+. New Orleans, I give them a B-. I know they got Marcus Davenport. He's an interesting prospect, defensive end out of UTSA. I think this was their guy, and I think he could be potentially a Pro Bowl, All-Pro defensive lineman. I like his pass rush skills, but the picks that they gave up for him, I don't know if that's why I give him a B, because I think he's a great player, but they gave up a lot for him. With the rest of the picks, I just see some decent depth. But the only one that stands out is Marcus Davenport. Now they would have got somebody like Bradley Chubb, maybe Roquan Smith. Then I can see this being an even better draft. But with that being said, that's why I give him a B-.
I know.
All right, so moving on to your division, the NFC West. I gave your team a B+, the Cardinals. I gave the Rams a B. San Francisco I gave a C+, and Seattle a B-.
You ready for this?
Come on.
Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
Shut up. You don't throw the ball with your mouth. I'm sorry. You just need to be humble. Who cares who got picked before you? You got picked. First round. Doesn't matter what number you got picked. Nobody's going to want to play with a cocky little arrogant quarterback. I don't care who you are. You have to be humble, be grateful that you got picked with a team that honestly needs a quarterback, which means that, besides who we got, you have the hugest opportunity to start. You prove yourself during the preseason, and you might make it to the playoffs. Plain and simple. If you don't get that arrogance out of your head, thinking that you're better than everybody, then it is what it is. Maybe you won't even start at all, and we'll just put our hopes on Bradford. But shut up, please. Just shut up and play the ball game, please. For real. I'm sorry for the rant, but you know that this was coming ever since we saw that video. When we were watching the draft and he got picked and what he said, this was coming. And I know that you might have apologized or whatever. Doesn't change the fact that, it's what you said and that's what you were thinking. And regardless of the fact, nothing can change that. Do you have anything to add to that?
Well, yeah, of course. So about your new quarterback, Josh Rosen. Yeah, I saw what he said. Well, I heard what he said, and I saw the video. You know, I know a lot of people have a problem with what he said and the way he acted. You know, I can see that. I just hope he's just playing with the chip on his shoulder. You know, I had him as one of the better quarterbacks, better than the quarterbacks that were drafted before him. You know, some of them. And so, you know, I can see it, you know, but I hope, like what you said, you know, he just does his talking on the field with his skills and talent. But with other picks, Christian Kirk, receiver at A&M, I think he's a great route runner. He's going to be a great target for whoever the quarterback is, Rosen or was it Sam Bradford?
Yeah, Sam Bradford.
Yeah. We don't know who the starter's going to be, but with those two first picks, you know, I see Rosen being a great quarterback. I like his arm. Christian Kirk, he reminds me of a smaller Larry Fitzgerald. You probably like to hear that.
Okay.
He's just a clean player, great route runner, great catcher, and so I think, yeah, you know, they should provide some help on the offense.
Definitely. But I'm just hoping that they have a good year this year, even though I don't expect it, because just the cards that were dealt this season coming up. We'll see. I'm still rooting for my Cardinals. I'm still gonna give it my all on Sunday, but we'll see.